And you all crunching into the mic. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to His Point, Her View podcast. I'm your co-host, Mike, and I'm here with the lovely Katina. Say hi to the people.
Hello, good people.
Okay, I thought I stretched long enough to get you to finish chewing so you wouldn't have to speak with your mouth full of chips.
Well,
Oh,
actually, I muted my microphone, you punk.
I love you too. Um, anyway, we didn't actually have a topic until I just thought of something on the fly, and now Katina is upset with me, but she will not be upset with me once we get into the discussion. First, I want to talk to you about your week because you've had an amazing week. What
Wait a
have
minute.
you been up to?
Let me just
By the way, mine ain't been shit. Just to give you a moment.
let me
Um,
just preface this by saying that I have a topic, but Mike wanted to do this topic and doesn't want to tell me what it is. So I have no idea what it is. So if I suddenly go dark, you guys know the business. All right, carry on.
oh, please. And we'll get to your topic the next time. I mean, we'll probably record 2 episodes this week anyway, because probably work better that way. But it's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. You'll be
Okay.
okay. I promise you, I'm not setting you up for anything.
Okay.
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 But I haven't been up to nothing. Work, school, work, school. That's it. My life is so horrible. I did get the other podcast started though, so that's good. The gaming
Yay.
podcast is up on the network, so you guys could check that out as well. Um, I'm trying to get the other podcast together. In between time, school is a bitch now that I got to write this 8-page paper. Hate it. Hate
Oh,
trying to
eight
educate.
pages. Eight
Huh?
pages is nothing.
Huh?
Eight pages.
It wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't about something that um I don't think is 8 pages is necessary for, but that's just me. Plus, I hate writing when I have to write. I love to write, but when you make me do something, it I'm that type of person. Like, yeah, I don't want to be made to do things. I like to do things I like to do. That's probably why I don't need to work for anybody. Because
Makes sense.
yeah, it's like I'll do it, but I ain't gonna be happy with it. Damn it, it's just me. I don't know, but yeah, that's all I've been up to. So you have had an amazing week. You've been gushing about it all week on Facebook. So I figure I'll let you gush about it here because I want to hear the details anyway, since I haven't really had a chance to talk to you.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. My week started off not as amazing. Um, but this week was the week for the Women in Cybersecurity Conference in Tucson, Arizona. So we had our 2017 conference there. It was jam-packed of sessions, jam-packed of great information. I had a lot of fun, and some of you may know that I went to the one last year in 2016 in Dallas. So it was really great to be able to go and compare and contrast some things, um, talk to some people, saw some familiar faces, met new friends, met new contacts. Um, two of the breakout sessions that I went to last year, um, I met up with those two presenters, and oddly enough, they remembered me and remembered my questions. Um, both of them are college professors, and so we just caught up with what has been going on over the past year. Got lots of swag, which is my favorite part of the conference. Um, Matter of fact, I am sitting here looking through my swag because when I say it was a lot, it was a lot. And oh my gosh, just Oh my gosh. And now that I know what it's about, I'm trying to find my conference booklet since I was going to discuss so that I can tell you guys some of the amazing presenters that we had. And then some of the, okay, I got it. Some of the amazing presenters that we had, some of the amazing breakout groups that we had, and also da, 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 a life changing, potential life changing decisions that I have made. So, and when I say lots of swag, I have 2 bags full of swag. I am so geeked up about this swag. Um, I am. I am. So, where do you want me to start? You want me to start with how my day started? Do you want me to start? Because I definitely want to talk about the swag. Like,
However you want to go, it's your show.
oh, it's my show. You punk.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Because, I hate this. But, we're,
But you're talking about something that you love. So.
yeah, whatever. Anywho.
Wow, oh my God. Anyway.
So, those of you that aren't familiar with the conference, it is called the Women in Cybersecurity Conference. This year was the 4th year that it was hosted, 4th or 5th year. I can't even remember. 4th year, I believe. But um, I am, as Mike hates and loves all at the same time, I am very big into technology, and I am very big into security, and oh my gosh, it's just so much to talk about. Um, but anywho, cybersecurity is just exactly what it sounds like. It's security of cyber meaning technology, online, things like that. One of my biggest passions is online safety and security. I'm very big into that. I'm also a huge fan of digital forensics as well as ethical hacking. So, let's see. So, about the conference is always 3 days. It starts Thursday around between 1 and 2 o'clock p.m. local time, wherever it's being held. And it goes until that Saturday, until about 4:30. Um, there are women from all over the place that come to this thing. Literally, you have CEOs that are there, you have students that are there, you have educators that are there. Last year, I met some amazing women from the U.S. Naval Academy. This year, I saw the same group there. I think maybe 1 or 2 of those young ladies came back. Uh, cybersecurity, they have a poster session where you can submit your poster and get it judged. There are phenomenal breakout sessions. Last year, my favorite session was the digital forensics and to catch a thief. Those two were phenomenal. To catch a thief was basically someone hacks into your network, and he
Oh,
walked us,
no.
yeah, and then he walked us through how to find the threat, find the breach, find out how they got in, when they got in, what data did they take, or what did they put in the system, like what did they do when they came through the door,
Hmm.
type thing. The digital forensics was amazing because it's basically you arrive at a crime scene and you have to do all of this stuff from securing the physical stuff like the hard drive, the laptop, the desktop, the external storage units, down to you delete a picture or someone deletes a picture off of their phone. How do we get it back? Because a lot of people, I don't know why they even believe this in this day and age, but a lot of people believe that if they delete something off of their phone, that it's gone. That's not
Yeah,
true.
I still don't
So,
understand how people don't realize it's not totally true.
right. And I'm a big fan of not selling my phone back to the phone company, but that's a different topic. So in this conference, and it's not just open to women, men can come too. We encourage men to come, but it's focused on making the world of tech more diverse. And as you know, we are disproportionately unrepresented um, in the tech world. Right now, I'm pursuing my master's in cybersecurity, and I can tell you that I am the only female in both of my classes because I go full time. So, two classes is considered full time. I am the only female in both of my classes. I'm also the only African American. So, I'm a double minority in there. Um, but it's just to diversify, help diversify. And then it also gives us insight on different career paths that we may want to take in cybersecurity, as well as have someone standing up there that looks like us. And it was amazing to see so many beautiful women represented from all over the country. It is a government funded conference. You can get scholarships if you are a student. Definitely, if anybody wants more in depth information on registration, how to get there, or whatever, you guys can certainly hit us up. Also, next year, normally they announce where the conference is going to be the next year. And the conference is always in March because this is, of course, Women History Month. So they want to take it out with a bang. Um, Next year's conference is in Chicago. I'm excited, but I'm not excited because
Oh,
I'm cold.
nice. Why?
I'm cold natured. I don't want the cold. So
You'll be fine.
I hope so. Um,
You
but
like? Have you ever been to Chicago?
you know I've been to Chicago. We'll talk about that off my.
Oh my God, no, I don't, and I don't know if I need to know that.
Just say you don't remember because I told you all about it. Um,
You probably did, and I probably blacked it out of my mind.
right. So,
Mm-mm.
um, what happens is wherever the conference is held, we are sponsored by a college or university there. This year, we were sponsored by the University of Arizona. Last year, we were sponsored by the University of Dallas. So next year, I'm sure we'll be sponsored by the University of Illinois. Um,
Nice.
yeah, you can. So when you go, this is what's to be expected. You have to pay for your own transportation there and back, of course. But some of the sponsors offer travel vouchers and or travel scholarships. So you apply, and then some make you pay for it up front, and then you submit your receipt to get reimbursed. Some just have their company contact you and schedule and make the arrangements for you. It's just dependent upon what the sponsor decides to do. However, once you're there, your conference registration fee pays for both the registration for the conference as well as lodging and meals while you're there. Um, if you get a scholarship, the scholarship pays for lodging and meals while you're there as well as your conference registration. Um, they try to subsidize for students to make it either free, $30, $50. They try to make it affordable. Um, there is a registration period. So what I normally try to tell people is get in there as soon as you can. As soon as it's open, go in, apply, and then you'll go from there. So we stayed at a beautiful resort this time, the JW Marriott Star Pass Resort in Tucson, Arizona. Um, Very nice, beautiful um, resort. So what happens is you get there on Thursday. Registration normally starts around noonish, and then the first session is normally around 2 o'clock. And the first workshop is like it's normally 2 hours. The first workshop, and so normally it's two workshops on the first day, and then we have a networking social that night with the sponsors. What that means is that you can go in, get up close and personal with the sponsors, talk to the people about what jobs they have, talk to them about everything. Um, and it's just, man, ah, I get excited just talking about it. So, anyways, with the networking socials, you go and you talk. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be somebody from human resource there, as well as somebody from their cybersecurity team, their tech team, their whatever team is going to be there. Then Friday is the full day of conference where you wake up, you have breakfast. You also have a keynote speaker at breakfast. And then you have what they call lightning talks. Lightning talks are 5-minute talks on varying subjects. And like breakfast on Friday, let me get to my workshop, my thing, so I can tell you. So our lightning talks were teaching cybersecurity to the undergrad students, musical cryptography, which was amazing.
You
Uh,
said what?
musical cryptography. So,
Explain that.
okay, so you, okay, I'll explain what cryptography is, which,
Well, I know. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, explain cryptography too, because not
so,
everybody knows it.
right. But I know that, well, I know I learned cryptography as like in elementary school when I wanted to pass notes, but I didn't want the teacher to read the note in front of the
Mm.
class. So if I pass the note, it's just essentially making up your own type of code. Like for us, we did the alphabet, like A would be representative of 5 numbers down the line so that we would be able to get it. Um, but that's cryptography. It's
Yeah, I was some
essentially,
badasses.
yeah, it is essentially creating a code that not everyone can read, but the person that has the cipher or the what do you call it? The crib note could read. So um, this young lady did it with music. So what they did was use the music to facilitate the exchange of secret messages. Um, it was beautiful. I love that, and I would love for her to come
Now,
back.
was it like a certain song or certain notes?
It was essentially what, for demonstration purposes, she did it to have the beat of a nursery rhyme of a well-known nursery rhyme. So,
Hmm.
yep. And then the other lightning talk was finding the other 60%, um, which is like the automated scanners can find between 14 to 40% of security issues in an app. So, how do we find the other 60 to 86%? So, she talked about that. Somebody discussed organizing cybersecurity awareness month for a university campus, which was great. And then security injections at Towson. Awesome cybersecurity modules, no grading required. And what that was talking about security injections, programming, helping the programming students, doing things like that. Show them how to identify the vulnerabilities in code. So that was, and then our keynote, Micheal Katina from Cisco, and she talked about creating a career in privacy and cybersecurity. She was amazing. Um, so so then after that, so once you have breakfast, then we went into the poster session, which they had judges. They would go out and discuss their posters. There were a lot of posters, and they were all great. And then they had a resume clinic so that you could go in and get your resume looked at, critiqued. Most of the people were from human resources, so they could kind of talk about what you needed on your resume, what they looked for, things like that. Then you have a distinguished speaker section. It's normally like 3 to 5, and you pick which one you want to go to. The one that I chose to go to was called All I Needed Was for Someone to Give Me a Chance. And she just talked about how, as a woman, it was hard to get into the tech field and into um, tech positions. And so she just discussed that. But the other ones was a day in the life of a Facebook security team member, and then cryptography. So that was that. Um, then we had the lunch and keynote, which was like a panel, and they were discussing from Raytheon, which was great as well. So, um, and then after lunch and keynote, we had another breakout session. Then the career fair opened. When the career fair opened, all of the sponsors were there, and you got to go around to every table. At the career fair, it's just not for job seekers. It could be a high school student looking for a college. It could be for a senior in college looking for a master's degree program or a doctoral program. So they had schools that were there. They had cybersecurity organizations that were there. They had businesses that were looking for interns. They had businesses that were looking for full-time employees. It just ran the gamut. Then after the career fair, we then had another workshop series. Then we did the panels. And then we had dinner. And with dinner, you just have dinner and a keynote speaker. Then you do like speed mentoring, where you can go around and talk to different mentors and all of that type of stuff. And that was just Friday. Saturday, which
Wow.
was just, yeah, it's jam packed. Saturday was our last day of the conference. So you got up, you had breakfast, you had your keynote speaker there, and our keynote speaker was Maria de Grazia, which I instantly followed her on Twitter. She works at Kroll. She's great too. Um, and then we had lightning talk. So somebody talked about no source code, no problem, which is a challenge in reverse engineering. Then we did ThingBot analysis and detection. Um, one of my cool people that I met last year, Jenny Cam, she did You Can Be a Hardware Hacker Too, which essentially means that you don't just have to hack hardware, I'm sorry, software, but you can hack hardware as well. So she showed us like
Yeah,
the
don't
different,
teach people that. No.
whatever. Well,
Yeah, I
anyway.
know, but still, you don't need some of these jackasses out here knowing how to that they can do that shit. Because, good lord.
Well, it's not as easy as one would think, and they do have to have some type of technical knowledge. So,
Yeah.
um, then they shined a light on a I don't know if you call it a group, club, nonprofit, but it's called Cyber Security. So CYB and then Her Security. And then we did WOW, which was Women on the Wall, a look at data loss prevention. And then we took our group picture. Every year you take a group picture on the last day. So we did group pictures. Then we had another distinguished speaker section, had a break, technical presentations, and then we had the birds of a feather um, presentation. Then we had the lunch, which included the postal awards. So they come up and they tell you who won the postal awards. And then you have one last workshop before you leave. And then after that, it's over. But in between the time, in the meantime, I was like hitting up every sponsor, everybody that was there. I tried to visit their booth. I tried to talk to the people that were there. I made some amazing connections. One of the connections that I made, um, actually, we rode the same flight coming and going, and I didn't realize that she was from Little Rock until we got to Tucson and until we
Oh,
got.
nice.
But she is a web developer, so she's going to teach me some of the new techniques and things like that, and I'm excited about that. There was another girl that I met. She's going to teach me about pen testing and get me on my way with that. I'm excited about that. Um, and then there was another girl that I met who is interested in coming and speaking at some different panels that I go to. So there were a lot of connections made, and it's an amazing networking opportunity. I kid you not. The resort was beautiful. I was so dog tired because it was in Tucson. So I live in the central time zone. So when I got up and left Thursday morning, my flight left at 6:20. I was at the airport by 5:15, and it didn't end until 9 o'clock that night, Tucson time. So that's 11 o'clock at night here. And I was dark. Like when I say, when I got to my room after everything was over with, I passed out. Like it was no time to talk or nothing. I took a shower. Um, I told my roommate I was going to bed, and like I know I will sleep within 5 minutes of laying down. You do have a roommate if you go on scholarship and they pay, then you'll have a roommate. And if you know somebody else that is going, you just ask to be roommates. But if you don't, then they'll just assign you somebody. And my roommate was actually someone that I met at the conference last year. Um, we connected, we stayed connected throughout the year, and then we went to this conference together and we requested each other as roommates.
Hmm, that's cool. You didn't want to talk about the rest of your swag and stuff.
Oh my God, the swag. What?
I'm like, I'm sitting here
What?
like she must want to talk about her swag.
What? Let me tell you about the swag. Okay. First of all, there was swag for days. I still have swag from last year's conference that I haven't even gotten around to using. That's how much swag I got last year. This year, I got maybe just as much, if not more. But some of the notable things in the swag, I'm not even going to look at my swag bag right now. I'm just going to think. My favorite, Google. Google had Google socks, got me a pair. Google had an Android bot puzzle. It was a 3D Android bot, but you had to put it together. Um, what else? Of course, I'm all into security. Fidelity had webcam covers. So did State Farm. Um, Also, now I have to look at my swag bag because I don't know who gave us these, but I definitely want to give props to them. Target had some amazing notebooks. Cisco had
Wait,
a
Target was
phone
there?
organizer. Target was there.
Target the store?
Yeah.
Oh, they were trying to teach their people how to actually protect their customers for a change.
Stop it.
I'm saying.
They were there last year too.
It didn't work last year. They need to figure it out this year.
Okay, so this was swag from Carnegie Mellon University. Their swag was, which I'll take a picture and put it on the side if you want to, but their swag was phone camera blockers, webcam covers, mufflers for laptop microphones, and they are amazing. So, yeah. But also, let me see. Let me find my program. I can run through our sponsors really, really quickly. Oh, here it is. Okay, so sponsors. Man, when I said, man, I didn't even look back here in the program. One of the sponsors was Facebook Security, Cisco, Fidelity, uh, Cyber Training 365, Cybersecurity Education Research and Outreach Center, Target, Raytheon, Palo Alto, IBM was there. Intel, Bank of America, Cybersec jobs, Carnegie Mellon University.
Hmm.
Software Engineering Institute from Carnegie Mellon University. And then we had Northrop Grumman, Navy Cyber Warfare Development Group, Raytheon, JHU Applied Physics Lab, Tennessee Tech. Tennessee Tech is always going to be one of the sponsoring universities because the founder, Dr. I can't remember her last name. First name is Amberine. She's the one that stocked us up. Harris Poe, Sands Technology Institute, State Farm, Coal Fire, Facebook, Bank of America, Honeywell, Adobe, DHS, eBay, Target, Mississippi State, Indiana University, IBM, Aetna, Cyber Training 365, Defense Point Security, AT&T, Google, Endgame, the University of Arizona, the University of Washington, Bethel. Did I say Intel already? I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
Coal Fire, Columbus State University, U.S. Intelligence Community, the MIT Lincoln Laboratory. So we had some amazing people that were there. I things that stood out to me. Uh, Protivity was there. I talked to one of their ladies. Her and I connected. She's gonna send me. That's the one that's gonna send me some stuff about pen testing and get me on my way. Um, Facebook, talked to them. She was really interested in my thoughts on a nonprofit that I'm trying to get together. And so we talked a little bit. She asked me if I would be willing to move to Austin, and working with a group of online security people. So that was great. Then she told me I need to start blogging and get a website to showcase just some of the things that I told her that I was doing. Um, so yeah, the the conference. I will just say this: if you've never been to a conference, this is definitely one to go to. If you are thinking about going or not sure, then go with a group. Don't go by yourself. Take someone with you. Um, but it's amazing. We even got information on other conferences that offer students scholarships and vouchers and free admission. So yeah, got back yesterday, was dog tired. Um,
I'm sure.
I was just going, 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 going the entire time. But I will say this, the connections that I made, I was asked to mentor a group of high school girls. So I'm going to be doing that now. Um, but also, I found a couple of mentors, and you can never have too many mentors. One is an educator in digital forensics and in cybersecurity as a whole, and she's a female. I'm now on the search for a male mentor. Um, have my eyes on a couple of people, so I'm going to be reaching out to them probably this week just to see if one, they have time, and two, if they're interested. Um, but yeah, so
Look
yeah,
at you, about to be a mentor.
man. When I say I am just too excited, and
God help them.
really kick your butt. Um, Whatever. But I mean, I had an awesomely amazing time. So, and it was a nice break uh from life. It was a nice break. But this swag, man, oh my gosh, what else did I get in my swag bag? Target had some amazing notebooks. Facebook had these notebooks that are super cute, and they have stickers. And Mike, I don't think I showed you my laptop, but I have their stickers from last year all over my laptop. And I'm going to add stickers from this year all over my laptop. And but then I also give them to my girls. that I mentor or that I talk to about careers in tech. So I do that. But yeah, fun times. Absolutely, absolutely, positively amazing. I would love to do more conferences, and I think that I'm going to start going to more conferences and just getting myself out there a little bit more, and
And I've
just
never been
networking.
to a conference of any kind.
Next year, you're going to the Women in Cybersecurity.
Um, okay.
I think that you would like it. It's not just for women, but it's to diversify. And it was really amazing because last year they had all the women stand up, and we stood up and got a round of applause, and then all the women sat down. And then the men stood up. And then, of course, the men is like maybe 2 to 5% of the crowd. And it was just mind boggling because what Dr. Amberine said was look around. The men that you see standing up, they are representative in this room, they are representative of women in the outside world that are in tech. And that was mind blowing to see. It's like, oh man, well, I never really thought about it. But I mean, of course, we are in a male dominated field, white male dominated field. And then after white males, they're probably white Asians in the field. Um, and oh, and then one thing that we did talk about in the conference, which talked about it last year, but I was talking to a lady from Facebook yesterday, and I was telling her, so last year's conference, it was like a K through 12 breakout session. It was led by a professor from Cal Poly, and one of the questions he asked was why do you think women are not in tech as much as they are in other fields? So one young lady stood up and she said, hey, it's because when I went to school, there were classes for the talented or the gifted students. And the gifted students were the ones that got to play on the computer, the ones that got to learn about tech, and are probably the ones that went on to have these crazy careers. And we just weren't exposed to it. The only exposed the only exposure we got was in typing class or keyboarding class when we learned to keyboard on a computer. And so um, the guy was like, could be. So then I raised my hand. And when I went to the microphone, I said, hi, my name is Katina. I'm from, and then I named my school. And I said, just to speak to what the previous person said, I'd just like to talk about my experience. And so I told him, I said, my experience is this. In first grade, I was identified as what would be considered a talented and gifted student. But it didn't start until third grade here in my school system. So I had to wait until third grade to start the classes. But in the talented and gifted classes, you would be pulled out from your regular class and you would um, work with the teacher for an hour, 90 minutes, however long it was per session. I can't remember if it was once or twice a week or whatever. But I do remember being pulled out. I also remember learning how to program on an Apple computer in DOS with the mean green screen. Um, and I remember doing line 10, line 20, line 30, all the way down to the very end, and then hitting run. And either your program ran or you got a syntax error. And if you got a syntax error, if you had one line of code, that was easy to figure out. But I remember one time I had a line, maybe 300 lines of code because I've been working on this project for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So in 300 lines of code, I got syntax error. And I'm like, what in the high
Mm,
holy hell is going on? Because now I have to go through the 300 lines of code. Or maybe,
yeah,
or
that's
maybe it
what.
was in the first line. Maybe it was in the fifth line. I wouldn't know until I actually did it. But what I told her was, I was one of those students that got pulled out. I was one of those students that was identified as talented and gifted. I was one of those students that was identified as having a high IQ. I was one of those students that was identified as the future. However, what ended up happening was, of course, the older you get, the more classes you go through, the more grades you go through. By the time I got to sixth, seventh, eighth grade, that's when they start asking you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Now, mind you, I had already taken that test that you take, I think maybe fourth or fifth grade, that tells you what you should be or what your strengths are, and what careers rely on those strengths. And like my careers that relied on the strengths were attorney, judge, different occupations, but not one said computer science engineer or anything remotely related to tech. It did not say on there. And so that started grooming me to not want to go into tech because I was like, oh, I don't have the strength that's required for these jobs. Then I was told, you should be an attorney, you should be a doctor, you would make a great nurse, you would be an amazing teacher. Still nothing tech. So I started to shy away from that. And 10th and 11th grade, I started saying, okay, I want to be an attorney. Then I was like, I want to be a doctor. Then it was, I can't be a doctor and an attorney, but I love organization. I love processes and procedures. I love anything dealing with um, the process of a business working. I loved it. And that was one of my strengths. So I was like, I will go into operations. And that's what I've been doing. And slowly I've been coming back to tech, but I think I've been back to tech maybe heavy 15 years. Heavy. Um, but like I told her, I said that's not necessarily true. Just because those students were identified as talented and gifted does not mean that we went on to become engineers, computer programmers, or anything like that. I have a friend who was in the same talented and gifted class with me. We were both had programming wars back and forth, back and forth. She's a court stenographer.
Mm.
She's a court stenographer right now. And when I talked to her about all the exciting things in tech and all the things that I'm trying to do, and now I'm in the master's program for cybersecurity and how I want to get my master's and then go into the doctoral program. And I'm not getting my PhD because I want to teach. That's not what I want it for. I want it so that if I wanted to teach, I can do that. If I want to do research, I can do that. If I want to do anything, I can do it. That's the push behind the PhD. But I mean, I have some friends. There's a guy that I graduated high school with. He just became an attorney like last year, 2 years ago, maybe. We've been out of high school 20 plus years. Um, but when I talk to him, his passion is tech. I'm like, well, why don't you do it? He's like, I just always felt like I should be an attorney. So it's just crazy. But I love the conference. I love the fire that it lights inside of me. Not necessarily, and don't get me wrong, the fire was already there, but I think my fire got lit and got pushed to the next level by speaking with the lady from Facebook that was like, oh my gosh, you're doing phenomenal work. I showed her some of my work. She was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Why aren't you out here like giving speeches? And I'm like, I'm not really a public speaker. Anybody that knows me knows that. So, but I love tech. And so I told her, I said, no, I'd rather just start my nonprofit, work with the kiddos, and, you know, um, affect change that way. So, and then speaking with another lady who is into the digital forensics, those are the two that lit my fire. The keynote speakers were amazing, but they didn't light my fire. They didn't. And they probably did light some fires in the room, but my fires were lit by the one-on-one contact that I had with these women, and it never would have been possible without this conference. Because I wouldn't have met that lady from Facebook. She doesn't even live in my city. I certainly wouldn't have met the digital forensics lady. She doesn't even live in my time zone.
Mm.
So, but the conference is amazing, amazing, and I cannot wait to go back next year. I'm not excited about Chicago, but hey,
What else you like Chicago?
hey, it's cold, man. I'm cold, and
It's not always cold. What you go the last week of March?
it's
You
gonna be cold.
might get a little
Ain't no little to it.
tinge
I
of
checked it.
spring.
It was 40 degrees there yesterday because I checked it.
It's not that bad.
Okay, whatever. But I will say this:
Oh,
amazing friends. My roommate, Drina. Shout out to Drina. We, I mean, I fell asleep on her both nights, um, but I think that
it's
I
because
don't
you're
think I
old.
know I have a lifelong friend in Drina, and we are so excited for each other that we're just like on it. So yeah.
That's good. See, now that part was painless, and this part is going to be even more painless. Okay.
Oh Lord.
No, because see, I wanted you to talk about this stuff because this is a lot of stuff that a lot of women probably don't know about. And that rolls into the topic. We're going to talk about women and career paths that they can take
Uh-huh.
in life. This is the topic. And I felt like you, being someone who's well versed in a lot of different things, you do a lot of your tech stuff, you mentor and all that, you would be a good person to speak on this because, as you were saying while you were talking about the conference, how they were asking you guys what made you want to go into tech and why don't you see a lot more women in tech. It is something that has always been ongoing in society. Women aren't necessarily encouraged to go into certain career fields. I feel like for me, I feel like now we've started to see the expansion in, I guess, the public acknowledgement that women can do and do a lot of amazing things. I would say probably over the last 20 years, maybe, which isn't a long time. It seems like a long time, but it's not in the grand scheme of things. Because think about when um, the women's movement started. That started, geez, what, over 100 years ago,
Yep.
and we're just getting to this point in time. So it just goes to show you how things kind of move. That's why I wanted to talk to you. Make this show all about women and what they can do to encourage themselves to not just do the stereotypical things and not continue to um I guess you could say fall prey to bigotry and sexism and things like that, because unfortunately we are now back into the time where bigots, sexist, racist, all of these things that people have fought generations and generations to move forward through and not have to deal with again. It seems like they're coming. It never went away. Let's be honest. It's never disappeared completely, but it seems like now we're getting back to an era where people are more comfortable throwing that shit out more often in the public eye. You know what I
More
mean?
comfortable. What? They think it's the norm.
Yeah, and that shit ain't cool. And in particular, like last month was Women's History Month, and like the Day Without Women, people lost their shit and they were going nuts and things like that. I told you about the guy who lost his job because he made the snide comment. And I think part of the reason why he lost his job wasn't that he just made that comment as a joke, but once people checked him on it, he doubled down on it and decided, you know what, I'm gonna like be an antagonist about it. And but people are doing that way more these days. They want to antagonize things, and it. And today we're gonna just focus on women. I can talk about all that stuff. We're just gonna focus on women and having people like you who are out there mentoring, trying to encourage women to do things that they aren't normally, um, quote unquote, allowed or encouraged to do.
Hmm.
So there. See, you didn't need the alcohol, did you?
It's not alcohol. It's actually peach soda. I was just messing with you.
Yeah, okay. So
Hmm.
yeah. So
I
you
mean,
feel better now?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because I thought we were finna go to the left on this. I was about to say, hold up.
No. I just want to get your feelings and your opinions on this matter and your advice.
Hmm. Oh well, there. Um. Well. Hmm.
I understand it's going to take you a moment because you were on the defensive. You're ready to fight.
I was not really fighting, but you know, this is like serious to me because, like, I've been. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. So what I would suggest for anybody is, which people say this all the time, and sometimes we listen and sometimes we don't. But I would just say find your passion. Um, don't let anybody distract you from that passion. For instance, I am what would be considered a late bloomer. Um, I'm not in my 20s. I'm not in my early years of my life. But I think that I'm more balanced now. I chose, or it chose me to be a mom and a wife first. And to be honest with you, I don't think that I would have done it any other way. I mean, I have some friends that are my age. Their kids are like 9, 10, 12. I'm sitting over here with adults. As my roommate said, a real whole grown adult. I have three of them. Nobody is underage. And I mean, had I taken the scholarships that I was offered or went to the colleges that I was admitted to straight out of high school, would my life be different? Probably. But I certainly believe in the butterfly effect and that everything happens for a reason and that we are exactly where we are supposed to be. And so anything moving forward is what we should be working on. I would say find your passion. It may not be tech, it may not be science, it may not be engineering, it may not be a math career, but find your passion. If your passion is to becoming a high school business teacher, if that's what you want to do it, no matter your age. Um, and I'm speaking specifically to the women, but definitely no matter your gender. But focus on your strengths, your passion. I tell people all the time, I am such a geek. I am such a nerd. Um, I mean, I sit up and watch the History Channel just to watch it. I
You
read the
should watch the
dictionary.
History Channel because history is awesome.
Yes, it is. I read the dictionary just to read it, just to, you know, expand my vocabulary. And I love to not be the smartest person in the room because I can learn and glean so much from the smartest person in the room. And always be willing to get out of your comfort zone. You know, speaking of being the smartest person in the room, we love that. We love that people come to us for guidance and for the information that we have. And we love to be the big fish in the pond, but you will never continue to grow like that. So once that pond has gotten small or comfortable, go to the next one. Always be willing to learn, always be willing to accept guidance, always be willing to accept criticism. Know that some people are not going to criticize you lovingly, some may criticize you negatively. And when they do it, it's cool too. Thank them for it and go out and be a badass and show them that they can't stop you. I personally had some setbacks in my career, whether it was, well, my latest experience, a manager that couldn't manage his way out of a brown paper bag. He just simply has his position because of who he knows. But it is what it is. And the sad part and the great part about it is that no one in the company is fooled by him. No one. No one in the company feels like, oh my gosh, he is such an awesome manager. Nobody says that, not even his team members. But because he wields the power, then we have to deal with him accordingly. I'm no longer with the company, but um, so I don't have to stifle myself or dumb myself down, which is a big mistake, ladies. Never dumb yourself down. Always ask for what you're worth. If they're only paying you or they're only offering you 40,000 and you know that you're worth 90,000 or even 60,000, you know, everything happens for a reason. Learn to say no even when you want to say yes, because when we say yes out of desperation, we end up putting ourselves in positions that we're already too big for. We've already outgrown that situation without having ever to been in it, if that makes any sense. So I would just focus on growing. Grow every day. I read every day. I write poetry now every day. I I am preparing myself for when I don't have to work to make the next person's dreams happen. I'm preparing myself so that I can make my dreams happen and I can also bring some people with me along the way.
Now, question, because you mentioned the dumbing down thing, and when you
Hmm.
said that, I kind of laughed because speaking from a male perspective and knowing men that are like this, you're 100% right. Don't dumb yourself down. I know it was a practice that was more common back in the day because let's be honest, fellas, there are a lot of us out there who hate feeling quote unquote inferior to a woman if she knows more than we do. And I know like a lot of people like had to, how could I say this? What's the best word to say? I guess you just like you said, you had to dumb yourself down um in the presence of your man. You kind of had to placate him. I think that's the word. By pretending like he knew everything and you didn't know stuff. I've seen relationships like that. And it just always made me laugh because I tell women all the time, when I've had women come at me and try to be like, you think you know everything. I was like, well, no, I don't. And you probably know more than I do. And that kind of catches some women off guard because I feel like they're waiting for me to be that stereotypical guy, so to speak, which I have no problems. Like, I know you and a few other women who know a lot more about a lot different things than I do. And me personally, I have no issue with that. I don't feel like I'm an inferior being because a woman knows more than me. And I would agree that women shouldn't dumb themselves down. at all, especially in reference to a man, because that's just, fellas, we need to kind of get over that shit. It's 2017. Come on, people. Why are there still people out there who think like that? I don't get it.
Well, when I say dumbing down, I'm not even just talking about, because when you say men, I'm thinking in personal relationship. I'm talking about in business
No,
relationship.
I'm talking. Yeah, me too. Because there's gonna be men
Okay.
too. I mean, what a lot of stuff that happen in personal relationships is just a lot of stuff that happens in life. Period. You will see a lot of men in professional fields who don't like that. That's why probably there have been situations where women have been held back still in companies. You know, it's like, okay, hate to bring him up because I know you hate his name,
Okay, well then we don't even have to
but I
mention
won't
it.
say his name. Okay, I won't say his name, but our
25
current,
with an asterisk.
okay, so the current situation in the White House. Look at the structure look at his leadership structure and where he's placed certain people. And you look at where the women are placed in comparison to the men. And it's a very telling thing. You know what I mean? About
Yeah.
how he like views things. Um,
Well, yeah, his cabinet is the most white, most male since Reagan.
yeah, it's pretty much like was when I was a kid, you know, and that's a very crazy transition coming from where we just came, which it's just odd, but it still exists. You look at a lot of companies, it's still prevalent in a lot of those companies. That's why I was just like, it's yeah, it's definitely not just a relationship thing. It's a social issue. It's a serious social issue, and yeah, don't dumb yourself down. I definitely agree to that 100%.
Oh, well, not only that, but um, and also, ladies, do not be intimidated. Like, for instance, man, my last position was a horror. Um, the company has a good mission, but man, the people they have executing the mission is a mess. Um, but what I found is that don't be discouraged, I should say, when you see a male in a position that he does not qualify for, or you feel like he has not earned it.
Hold up, you cut off. Don't tell me you're about to get disconnected.
Now, what happened? I'm so sick of this thing. But anyways, do not be discouraged when you see a man in a position that he does not qualify for, or you feel like he has not earned it. Because when the rubber meets the road, as my grandmother would say, your talent, your your pedigree will reveal itself. So don't be discouraged because somebody is in this position and you're like, wow, he doesn't even have the credentials that I have, but he's in this position. Or, wow, he doesn't know the difference between a rootkit and a virus, or whatever it may be. Or he doesn't know the difference between an external and an internal network, whatever it may be. For all you know, hey, his experience is limited to connecting his home Wi-Fi network. But don't let that discourage you from continuing your education, continuing your training, continuing to grow, to expand. Because at the end of the day, your brand, which is you, is what you need to be focused on. Um, Definitely, our society today can have you stressed out, frustrated, upset, angry, anxious, all of that. But we can affect change. We don't have to essentially be waiting for um, waiting for a man to give us a shot. Just continue progressing on, and it'll eventually evolve.
By the way, I like to note that that's totally unprofessional of you to be laying in bed or recording a podcast.
Whatever. I'm not
Just
feeling well, and Michael wanted to record, but I did get up and go fishing today. But I have a headache, which is why I didn't want to record on camera because my head has started to hurt, and I don't know if it's from lack of sleep or if it's from stress, if it's from the car accident. I don't know what's going on. So, yes, I am laying in bed doing the podcast, but and it's really crazy. When the podcast knocked me off is when I laid down. I was like, all right, I can lay down and do the rest of this.
that's funny.
But I
Now,
think that as women, we also need the men. And I know that people don't think we do, or we act like we definitely desperately need the men because you guys open up doors for us. And I'm not talking about literally as your hand on the doorknob, but I'm saying that you guys are very instrumental in opening up doors for us and allowing us to kick and break the glass ceiling with our stilettos.
why I gotta be stilettos though? Really?
Because that's what I wear.
Uh,
You know, I'm short. I call them, I get tall
yeah,
too.
I know. But stilettos though. Now you got dudes sitting here like having fantasies and shit.
Well,
Anyway,
well, well, that's their perverted thoughts.
but no, I agree. But I think in every situation, I know it's definitely something people hate to admit, but in any type of struggle, again, when you have an opposition, you need people from that opposition that can say, "Look, what we're doing is wrong here," because it's not going to always, just like with racism and things like that. Yeah, you kind of did need some white people to come out and be like, "No, this shit is wrong, and we need to stop this," because it helps to know that it's not just you. A lot of people will dismiss your issues if it's just you
Yep.
complaining. It's sad, but that's the truth of human nature. It's just like if I say, I don't know, like it's just like if I, complained at my job about hours that I worked and everybody else is fine with what their hours are. So they just decide, well, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm happy. That's not how it should work. You should recognize that, yo, nah, you do a lot of things, a lot more than everybody else. So that's a problem. Stuff like that. Not saying that's what happens at my job, but there's situations like that. People tend to ignore what they don't have to deal with.
So let me ask you something. As a man, have you ever seen or even done it where you felt like because someone is a woman that they can't handle the job, they shouldn't have that position? Have you ever seen that or been a part of that?
No, listen, I was helping a friend move furniture once, and his girl's sister was in a lesbian relationship. The woman she was with happened to work for a moving company, and she was outdoing it. I was more than happy to let her outdo us because one, I hate helping people to move, but she knew what she was doing. She knew how to pack things and all of that, and I had no problem listening to her because she helped us get through that shit as quickly as possible. My opinion in life is I need the best people around me. I don't give a fuck if you're black, you're white, Asian, Hispanic, male, female, fucking Martian. If you can do the job and you work well, then fuck it. You got the job. I need people who can, and it's the same way with my like personal life too. I need people who make me a better person, who help, who are helpful, who are constructive, who know how to criticize without being, you know, hurtful for no reason and things like that. I need people who bring something better, you know, in my life, benefit my life, and hopefully I can benefit their life too. I don't need you just because, like, oh, well, I don't have a white friend, so I need to hang out with this white boy. Stuff like that. And nor am I going to say, well, you're white, so you can't go with me such and such a place. No, it doesn't work like that. At least not in my mind. You know, and I think that whole, well, she's a woman, so she can't do it. I guess there's certain instances, maybe with physicality, you can maybe say that. But I don't even think that's true anymore as far as most things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's funny, I was having this conversation on my blog, and somebody was like, that's a bold statement for me to make. But, you know, I'm into college basketball, love it to death. And I was talking about the NCAA championship. By the way, thank you again, Mississippi State. You guys,
yes, baby,
fucking UConn, who I can't goddamn stand. God, I cannot stand that team.
Yes, and you know what? Nothing against UConn because I'm not going to speak on that, but I will speak on Mississippi State. My niece plays for them. She is number 11, Roshonda Johnson. I am so oh my gosh, listen. Friday night they were playing at the final shot when Williams, I think that's her last name, when she fired off her final shot. When that sucker went in, I yelled so loud and was screaming so loud. Hotel security came down and knocked on the door. And was
That's funny.
Like, are you guys okay? I was up. Kid you not. That woke me up for a minute because, I mean, mind you, I was completely exhausted and went in and took my shower, and my head was, I probably was asleep maybe 17 minutes after that game went off. But yes, college basketball, I don't know who's in the men's finals, but I know that Mississippi State is in that bad boy today. So,
which, by the way, starts at 6 o'clock at the time of the recording. 6 o'clock Eastern. So you got to check that out. But no, I was talking about it, and I've always said this, and the dude who responded was like, that's a kind of bold statement, but I understand where you're coming from. And a lot of dudes get upset when I say this, but I've said this for years. When it comes to basketball, women are better at basketball fundamentally than men. Women, I think, in recent history know how to play basketball much better as far as they know how to shoot properly. They know how to play team defense. They know how to the rules, the way the game is played, they know. Men rely more and more as time goes on their athleticism. That's why you see a bunch of people are able to throw up some ridiculous stuff and it goes in. Or you see a lot of dudes who just rely on their high flying skills, their strength and things like that. But they don't know how to do basic. They don't know how to shoot fucking free throws anymore. They don't know how to play like James Harden. People talking about this man for the MVP. That man can't defend shit. he don't even know how to play basic team defense. I'm not talking about, not everybody's going to be a great defender, but he doesn't even know how to do the basic shit. But he sure does know how to like fucking take 10 steps with the Euro step to the basket and hit a wild layup because he's athletic like that. Whereas I think women are much more fundamentally sound than men. And that's probably one reason why people don't watch it as much as men, because the crazy shit is more exciting to watch from the perspective of somebody who's not really into the game like that deep. Like if you're not someone who's into the technical aspects of basketball, then all that shit LeBron and them do is much more amazing to you. But from me, who I like both of it, I say women play better because they're able to do the smarter things. Not even the smart things, the basics. They got that down packed, and they know the game is played, fundamentally more sound in women's basketball. And that's just my opinion. And I know I'm going to get a lot of heat and flack for that, but fuck it, that's what I think.
Well, it doesn't matter because this is all about women. So,
yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you look at. I mean, people make the joke all the time, but it's kind of true. Women tend to be better at handling finances. I work at a bank, and I get it all the time where I see divorced men or widowed men who come in, and they're just not that good. They don't know how to even fill out a damn deposit slip or withdrawal slip. And they'll say to me all the time, yeah, my wife used to do this for me. Stuff like that. So yeah, I don't believe in that whole she can't do it because she's a woman. It's just about like with anybody. If you actually teach somebody, or you're willing to show them, anybody can do something. So yeah, that answers your question. Hopefully,
it does. And this is just, of course, me and my weird mind, but I just feel like um, that so much of this stems from, um, to me, wives were seen as property. I married you. I'm your property. I'm your responsibility. I mean, not too long ago, women could not even apply for their own credit card. They had to, their husbands had to do it. Nothing was truly ours. And I think that right now we're moving forward, but I think that this new administration has pushed us back. But I think that it's up to us women to move forward. It's up to the men to support us, and go on from there. And what I do not understand is men who do not support women making the same amount of money for the same job.
it's funny. I
What
was
is
going to
your
ask you about that because that's been a big war I've seen come back up in the press, and it's weird because that guy who made the stupid joke, he's been big on um, punishing the quote unquote wage myth, as he likes to call it.
well, I think that if we do the same work, why not get paid the same pay? We're doing the same thing. Why does the fact that you have a penis means that you should make more? Like the rationale, is it because you may be supporting a household solely? Well, guess what? I may be supporting a household solely. Could it be that um you have more bills, more debt, more whatever? I may have more bills, more debt, more whatever. So I just don't understand that. I don't get that. That frustrates me and it pisses me off because I've had more qualifications than some of my managers, and my managers got paid more. Why? Because they were men? Probably. However, I've also seen that men are less likely to speak up for women receiving equal pay, which infuriates me more because listen, would you not want your wife to be making the same thing as whoever? Would you not want your daughter, your mom, your sister, your aunt, your cousin? Would you not want them to make the same for doing the same work? Now, I'm not saying for doing different work. I'm saying for doing the exact same work. The exact same work. And I'm also not saying that every time a man gets a pay raise that a woman should. I think that coming in, the pay should be the same. I think that once you get in and show and prove what you can or cannot do, then at that point, then you make the decision of, well, hey, this year you are entitled to a 2%, 7%, 10%, whatever pay raise. I do not think that me and you should go in, apply for the same job, and I make $3,000 to $7,000 less than you, or whatever the pay difference would be. I don't think that that is fair.
Yeah. So safely say that you believe that there is a difference in pay, unlike a lot of people. That's the thing I don't get when people dispute it, because I know there was this whole big issue over the 98 cents thing or whatever that analysis was. I wasn't sure what that was actually focused on, because the argument to me got way too crazy. Um, like I think it's easy to notice when women get paid less in certain jobs than men.
Right.
And I think that's the problem. I think people are trying to fold it all into every job instead of just looking at individual jobs. And I think that's why people don't understand the argument and why they just spell it. Because, there have been times, and probably still is times, that black people or Hispanic people get paid less to do a job than a white person does. Let's be honest. I mean, wage disparity has always been a thing, and it's not a new idea. So I don't understand how people can act like it don't happen or it don't exist. But I guess if you admit it, then you admit you're wrong, and then you had to do something about it. That's the problem.
Mhm. Unfortunately, yes.
So, it's just it's crazy, but it's stuff that's still going on. And it's sad. It's
I
very,
just, I personally feel like that in the end, that as women, if we, you know, this probably could take forever, but um, we just need to be focused and we don't need to lose sight of the prize. And the prize is us uh, handling business and becoming the change agents of the future and making it better. My thought process is that I want to blaze a trail so that my children, my children's children, my children's children's children, and so on and so forth, that they can stand on my shoulders and it's a little bit less traumatic, a little less foolishness, a little less trying for them to make it. I mean, that's all I want. I just want to make their journey a little bit easier. I can certainly clear a path. It may just be a small path. But then when they walk through, guess what? The path is going to get bigger. And just see it that way. So,
that's a good way to look at it. So, see, I was right. It wasn't gonna be bad.
whatever.
You enjoyed it. Don't
You
play.
know, No, you know that one. I do not like being put on the spot. Um, you know that, and two, a lot of people don't know that I mentor. That I mean, a lot of people just think I just walk around here doing nothing with my days.
I mean, they shouldn't
And
not know that stuff.
and mind you, some days I do walk around doing a bunch of nothing. Like today, I'm laying down. I went fishing, then I done came home. I done took my little shower, and I'm laying in the bed.
I
And
wouldn't
it's
say
cold
that.
outside, so I'm definitely not trying to move.
Well, I wouldn't say that's nothing. I mean, you are relaxing. Everybody deserves, believe it or not, a day to just relax.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you about this swag though. I just thought about something. So I cannot remember who gave it to me, but oh, now I feel bad. Hold on, I'm gonna see if it's on the box because Cisco gave out Bluetooth speakers. Now, how long they're gonna last, I don't know. But let me see if it's in this bag. And IBM gave out nice bags. Okay, is this it? Let me see if this is it. Oh, hopefully it has their name on it. But somebody, oh, Raytheon. Are you kidding me?
What?
Okay, so yesterday on the flight back, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to charge my phone.
Hmm.
But I did not have a charger. Raytheon, well, I didn't have an outlet. I was on a 2 hour flight. I couldn't be playing my freaking game. This charger that Raytheon gave me has a little charge to it. This thing is fantabulous. What? See, you guys are getting to see my excited geeky side. Okay, real quick, we're gonna go through. Oh, Google had shades. What? Along with their socks.
Google socks.
Yes, I'll send you a picture. Um, and Etna gave me a highlighter. It's like five little highlighters all on one thing. Um, the intelligence careers.gov, they gave us headbuds or earbuds, I should say. Now, these were nifty. Bank of America had highlighters that had little post-its, the little things, um, not little post-its, but the little, well, they are post-its. The little thin ones where you can put on a document to tell somebody to sign here, sign here.
Hmm.
They had those in a highlighter. Women's Connect, the Sands Technology Institute, had little journals. I got several of those. What else is in here? I'm trying to remember. Oh, I got up for this little thing. Oh, and then also Cisco gave us. Have you ever seen a cord organizer, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, Cisco gave those out. They gave those out last year
I
too.
need some. I need to buy some desperately.
Buy some. What? Your sister just came from the Women in Cybersecurity conference. I think I have a couple.
Yeah, I thought about getting just the zip ties and put using those.
No, these are for like traveling.
Okay.
called Gritted.
Hmm.
So, but no, this wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Ladies, stay the course. We will all affect change, whether you think it's big, small, and different. Stay the course. I mean, I used to think that I was not a change agent, in that um, that that my voice wasn't important, and it wasn't until I spoke to someone who is now my mentor, and she told me, she said, you know what, you're going to face adversity, and at times you're going to want to give up because you're going to feel like no one is hearing your cries, no one is hearing your thoughts, no one is there for you. She said, but it's in those moments that you need to dig down deep. And what I do to start my day, my alarms each have something thought provoking or motivational. So when my alarm goes off, let me look at my alarms really quick. So, like my first alarm, it goes off at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it says rise and shine beauty. It goes off again at 6:10 a.m. It says go out and conquer your day. And at
Hmm.
8:30 in the morning, it says it's time. So when those three go off, and sometimes I go in and I change them. Sometimes I will uh, make it say something different. Um, and that's okay too. Or like being Mary Jane, I love the the motivational quotes on the mirror, and then every morning just take one down, read it, and move it to a different section of your mirror, and just close your eyes and grab one and work it. So
All right. Still looking through your bag. See, I done got her started on the geek stuff.
that was me that time.
I
But
thought you were searching through your bag some more.
no, um, there's a lot of stuff, but and there are a lot of conferences. So if you are a woman or a man and you're interested in tech, but mainly women, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter or on my Twitter, on his point of her view page, just whatever, because there's so many different things, and there's so many scholarships for us too, which a lot of people don't even realize. There are a lot of things for us. So, like right now, I'm looking up um, the next one that I want to go to, and it's called Grace Hopper,
Oh, does that
and
name
it.
sound familiar?
Why does it sound familiar?
Hmm.
Or it does sound familiar.
It does.
You probably learned about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was an American computer scientist, and she was like a computer programmer, and she invented the first, I think it was the first compiler for a computer programming language.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh, she was also military too. So you may have learned about her when you learned about military.
Probably.
Hmm. But and she passed away in 1992. So. But Grace Hopper, um, let me look and see when that is.
Yeah, I know why. Because I worked at Arlington Cemetery. Man.
And she's buried there.
Yes, and
She
she's
is.
in the women's memorial.
Oh, okay.
They have a
Um,
women in military memorial up there.
so it's Wednesday through Friday, October 4th through October 6th, and it's in Orlando, Florida. So
Okay,
if you guys
nice.
want to come, I'm
I mean,
definitely gonna go.
I just want to go to Florida. Okay.
Whatever.
I mean, hey,
I mean, yeah. So,
yep, that's right. I do know her, the mother of Kobo.
hmm yeah. So, yeah. If you want to go, we can.
We'll see. Finances aren't always the best these days. In fact, I need to raise some money for some other stuff. I need to try to take care of and set up. Always something.
But yeah, I just. Let's see here. And I want to say, yeah. And then the scholarship, um, they also their scholarship for the Grace Hopper, which is it's closed now, but for next year, it includes hotel, meals, and a travel stipend. Yeah.
That's nice.
But they provide reimbursement. So you have to get to the conference, you have to do your flights and meals, but then they reimburse in December. So, yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
All right. So, are there any questions that we need to answer before we go, or should I let you go and finish taking your nap?
I'm not taking a nap. I just needed to lay down. My head was getting woozy. So, no, you know, I seriously thought that this was a hot seat.
Now we're gonna save that. Although you got your list of questions for that.
Hmm.
Nice. All right, so that'll be the next show then.
Whatever.
What? You can do that.
Whatever.
You for someone who hates being on the spot.
I mean, I just thought that it would be fair because the women showed up and showed out. So I was just trying to make it fair. I mean, if they don't want to send questions, they don't have to because, men, women ask things that all women want to know. Men will ask questions specific to me. So,
this is very true.
see?
This is very true. I mean, there's some men out there. We have a friend on Facebook who constantly asks general questions to women.
See?
Yeah, it's few and far between. I agree.
Yeah. So,
But okay, so let me go through the usual stuff. Now, of course, you can always watch this on YouTube as normal, or you can go to SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, or Google Play Music and subscribe so you can get the audio version every week that we record. So if you don't want to sit and watch it on YouTube, you could always just download it and play it wherever you want on the go. Thank you to everybody who's been watching lately and supporting. We appreciate it. And just stay tuned for more stuff. Like I said, we've got the gaming podcast going. And we'll be getting more stuff coming out soon. Very, very soon. And I swear I hear a dog yelping outside.
I do too.
Okay. Yeah, that's weird shit.
We're gonna
Get
have to
out.
start taping late at night.
Nah, because you still hear some weird shit around here.
Oh,
But anyway, that is it for this episode of His Point of View podcast. Again, thank you guys for listening, watching, and I guess we will see you next episode. So, with that, say goodbye to the people, Miss Katina.
goodbye, people. Have an amazingly wonderful week.
All right, and we will see you next time. Later.